Okay, presenting the buying power worksheet and cost estimate part 2. All right, so we were reviewing the cost estimate sheet, and I was reviewing all the features that the buyer had selected and helping to build value in everything that they had selected in their home. I also was reviewing all the included features again to help them build value in what they were getting in the home. So that's a really important feature or aspect to this process, because you want to make sure that they feel really good about what they're buying and that it's worth it, right? Okay, so I'm going to pick up after having reviewed all of that information, and now what we're going to do is we are gonna talk about the loan program. Okay. All right, so Andy and Marcia, let's take a minute now and talk about loan programs. And help me understand first, how long do you think you'll be in the home? Okay, long time. Okay, the reason I ask is because if you're thinking long term, then you may want to do a 30-year fixed rate instead of an adjustable rate. So, is that, what did you have in mind? Okay, you had a 30-year fixed rate. Okay, very good. All right, well, we'll work with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage program. Today, the rates are so low for the fixed rate. I mean, at 3.5%, you can hardly go wrong with that, right? So what I'll do then in calculating your payment is I will base this off of the 30-year fixed rate loan, okay? All right, so, here's, all right, so like I mentioned, the price came up to $400,000. So how does that sound? Yeah, you feel good about it? Yeah, with all those features included, to be at $400,000, that's pretty darn good, huh? Good. I'm glad you feel good about it. The other thing is, based on doing the buying power worksheet that we did earlier, you know how we said we wanted to be in the like 390 to 450 range, and we're here at the 400 range, so that's even better for you. All right, so we'll do the 30-year fixed rate, and what we have here is we'll do the 10% down. So I'll show you this with the 10% down. Okay, so with 10% down, that means your down payment would be $40,000. Okay, and your mortgage amount would be $360,000. Okay, so 400 to 360. Okay, so let me go ahead and explain then how this monthly payment works. All right, so the monthly payment, or as I like to say, monthly investment, is broken into a couple different areas, okay? First, we're gonna have the principal and interest. So your principal and interest on the loan of $360 is $1,617 per month. How about that? I mean, think about that. You're paying right now $1,500 in rent, and it could go up to $1,750. And to have this loan, your principal and interest is $1,617. So that's actually less than what you're paying in rent. How about that? All right, there's a few other pieces to the puzzle though relative to that monthly investment. So let's review what those are. So you have your principal and interest, then you have mortgage insurance. Now, mortgage insurance is insurance to the lender against default of the loan. So that amount comes to, on this particular loan with this down payment, $255 per month, right here. Next is your property taxes. So, of course, when you own a home, you have to pay taxes on the property, just like you pay property taxes on your car. Well, in this case, you pay property taxes on your home. So the property taxes are $257 a month, okay? Then you have insurance. So your insurance is insurance really on the home itself. This is homeowner's insurance, and this is required by the lender. So if anything happened with fire or whatnot, then there would be an insurance policy to help to take care of the home. So it doesn't include the contents, but it does include the home itself. So that monthly insurance would be about $42 a month. And I've included here also the HOA dues. So that's the HOA dues where they take care of all the community maintenance, they take care of trash removal once a week. That's all included in your HOA dues, and that's $33 a month. Okay, so your total monthly payment based upon the mortgage amount of $360, your principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and HOA fees comes to $2203. How's that sound? So over here, you were saying you wanted to be under $2,500, but between $2,200 and $2,500. So, there you go. So what's great is since you were able to carefully select your options and, we kept the price at $400,000, at this particular program and in this particular community, you can get a monthly payment of $2203. So how does that sound? Yeah? Better than you thought? Okay, good. I mean, if you really think about that, if you're in an apartment right now and your rent is going to be going up to $1,750 a month, and you look over here and you've got a total monthly investment of $2,200 a month, that's less than $500 more a month than what you're paying in rent, and you get to own this home. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, isn't it? Yeah. Of course, there's tax savings. Of course, you're building equity. I mean, all those things that we could talk about as well. But ultimately, $2,200 a month. So that feels pretty good. All right, very good. So we've got $2,200 a month. I'm going to just highlight that because I'm going to give you this sheet, and I want to make sure some of these key elements: the sales price, the loan amount, the down payment is all easy to identify. All right, so that's your monthly payment, your monthly investment. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at then are your total closing costs. Now, closing costs are divided into two areas. We have prepaid expenses and we have closing costs. Are you familiar with what prepaid expenses are? No? Okay, well, let me go ahead and explain. When you purchase a home, let's say this home is going to be ready in February. So let's say you close in February. There are some items that you have to pay at closing that are going to pay for, that you're going to be putting in escrow. So some things like taxes, they require 2 months worth of taxes up front. Insurance, they require, the lender requires 14 months of insurance up front. There's some prepaid mortgage insurance as well, and then there's also interest to the end of the month. So this is all part of your prepaids. Interest to the end of the month is like I was mentioning, if you close in February and you close on the 15th of the month, the interest is going to be the interest that you pay from the 15th of the month to the 28th of the month or the 29th of the month. And that's just the interest. You're not paying principal, you're just paying interest on the note in February. But the good news is that's due at time of closing, but in March 1st, you won't have a payment. Your first payment will be April 1st. So what's really nice is you move in, you pay the closing cost in the middle of February, your first payment's not due until April 1. So it gives you basically 45 days before you have a payment. So the prepaid items, are due at time of closing, and like I said, they're prepaid. They're stuff that you'd have to pay anyway. So basically what the lender does is they're requiring 2 months worth of your taxes, like I mentioned, 14 months of your homeowner's insurance, 2 months worth of your mortgage, not your homeowner's insurance, but your mortgage insurance. That's the insurance paid to the lender, and then 15 days worth of interest to the end of the month. So that total amount comes to $2,124. Okay, so that's $2,124. And then there's also closing costs. Closing costs include everything from appraisal fees, attorney fees, settlement fees, those types of things. Typically that's at about a 2% rate, 2% of your loan amount. So that's going to be right at about $7,000. Okay, so 7,000, actually it's, let's see, it's going to be actually about $8,000, but because we, as the builder, are going to offer you $1,000 in closing cost assistance right here. Your, actual out of pocket is going to be $7,000 in terms of your closing costs. Okay, so how does that sound? Okay, we need to see what the total amount is, right? So when we add up the prepaid expenses plus the closing costs, okay, that amount is $91.24. So we add the $91.24 to the $40,000. So we have $91.24 right here in closing costs, prepaids and closing costs, plus your $40,000 down payment towards the home. So that means your total cash out of pocket in this case is $49,124. Okay, how does that sound? All right. So what we talked about earlier was that you had $25,000 in savings that you've been saving, and then you have the boat that you're planning to sell, and you feel like you can get $25,000 for that. Okay, so that's $50,000. So that covers this amount here. Now, how does that sound? Good. All right, very good. Okay, so well, I'm glad. It seems like this is working out, doesn't it? Well, let's kind of take a step back here. We've covered a lot of information here today, and let's kind of review the information that we have covered. Well, first let me ask you, do you have any questions? No? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and review what all we've covered. So we first started with our buying power worksheet, and we identified here that according to the lender, they would actually allow you a monthly payment of up to $2,900, which would take you closer to $500,000. But you want to keep your payment closer to the $2,200 to $2,500 range. So buying power wise, you're fine, at a $400,000 house. So you relative to pre-qualifying and your buying power, you're good. You're good to go, right? You're golden at $400,000 sales price. And really, I used all the same guidelines and ratios that a lender would. So it's really, a very, very good estimate as to what your qualifying would be. Of course, they need to verify all your income and all your assets and all your credit and all that kind of stuff. But based on the information you shared with me, there should be no problem at all. Then we went ahead and we priced out the home for you. Added all the items into the home like we mentioned. You got the covered porch, you got the outdoor grill, you got the upgraded gourmet kitchen and all the hardwood floors and the beautiful white cabinetry. So we got all that included in the home. We also have Home Site 74, right? And we've got the premium already loaded in here relative to the price for that, and that's the one that's over there on the cul-de-sac, giving you a little bit more privacy for all that entertaining. So that'll be nice. So we've got the home that you love, we've got the home site that works for you, and then based on pricing it out, we came to a price that was within your buying power. We got a payment at $2,200, and you felt good about that, right? Good. And then we showed you your total cash to close at $49,124, which fits within the amount that you were, actually planning to spend. So that looks good too. Okay, good. So with all this in mind, you get the home that you want on the home site that you fell in love with at a payment that's only a couple $100 more than what you're paying right now, with the cash that you expected to pay in total cash out of pocket. So how's that sound? Good? It all works. Can you believe it? How exciting, huh? All right, well, very good. Well, since this all works for you, and I know you want to be in by February, March, so that you're ready for the season and you can be entertaining in the spring, let's go ahead and get it started and get this home started for you. How's that sound? Good. Yeah, we can go ahead and write it up right now. It'll only take us about another hour, and we can finish all the paperwork. How's that sound? Okay, good. How would you like your names to appear on the deed? All right, great. Terrific. All right. So you could see, folks, that, you know, when you ask some key questions up front and learn what their buying power is and learn where they want to be in terms of a monthly payment, and then you help them price out the home in a way that's within that guideline, then you're able to show them that they can get the home that they want at the price and payment that works for them and at the cash out of pocket that works for them. When you can do that, the process moves so much more positively and so much more quickly. The other thing you saw is not only did I ask some key questions about where they wanted their payment to be and what they were paying now, and you know, those types of things. So not only did I ask some discovery questions like that, but then I also was able to close throughout. And by closing throughout and getting them to feel good about it, you know, it makes the final close, you know, almost a no-brainer. So, so that's one way to help you be able to convert more of your appointments into sales. Now, you might say, "Gosh, that seemed really easy because they had the right amount of cash, and you know, and the payment all worked." In this exercise, it did because I wanted to show you how the flow can work. In our next training, we could talk about, okay, what do we do? What do we do if the payment is a little too high? What do we do if the cash is too high? And how do we then regroup? And sometimes you have to do that, but you know what? At least you know what are the questions to ask, because if you know the questions up front and you ask them, it's a whole lot easier at the end. And then you can pull it all together like I mentioned. So here's to you. Happy selling, and cheers. All right. Till the next time. Bye-bye.